So hey guys, you're finally live, and let's wait. Let's invite some people. So let's wait for some people to join, and then we'll start the session. So yeah, let's welcome. So let's yeah. So the people are starting to joining. Okay, so let's wait for us 1 2 minutes more, and then we'll start the session. I know it's been a very like long time since our last session. The last session was like 1 month ago. Honestly, this month we couldn't plan much session because there was a lot of confusion and chaos going around whether the college will open or not. So we were discussing about to whether to host an online or an offline event. We were expecting that we will be allowed to have a offline event in college, but ultimately it got rejected. And I think that's the better decision because we could see that the number of COVID cases are rising again. So yeah, I think it's better that if we don't have an offline event for at least a couple of months more. Uh, Welcome. Without what you call further ado, let's start the main topic of this session. So today's topic is going to be on a very interesting technology which is called web Chrome extensions. So what is our Chrome extensions? Chrome extensions are an essential and a very fast evolving and fast modifying technology which is used by many users around the world. If you have used a browser, any popular browser, whether it's like Chrome, Mozilla, or whatever, you will see that the extensions are a very have become a very essential part of your daily browsing activity. Okay, so we have with us Bikram, who is a very essential part of our DSC core team. He is a part of the design team and has created many posters for us, as well as he's an upcoming web developer who is going to teach you about the definition and the importance of Chrome extension, as well as he is going to teach you about how to create an Chrome extension of your own. So without further ado, let's welcome Bikram on the channel. So hey Bikram,
So,
what's
hey
up?
everyone. Yeah, good
So
evening. Actually,
so yeah, Bikram,
uh,
I'm leaving the stage on your hands. Okay, so
yep.
goodbye.
So, hi everyone. Let's just wait for a couple of minutes for others to join in and then we will start. Actually, while we are waiting, I would actually like to ask the audience if they are actually familiar with the term Chrome extension or extensions as in context of browsers. Is there anyone who has actually used extensions and are actually using extensions in their daily lives or for their workflow or something? Yeah, you see, in this virtual session, we don't have any way of communicating with each other. So the comment box is the only way out. So please let down your comments. Okay, anyways, moving on, I would actually first describe what are extensions. Like I'm going to share my screen. Please confirm if you can see it. Is my screen visible? Yeah, I guess it is. So I will be stopping my camera for now and will be going full screen. Okay, so let's just see what are extensions. Let's just visit the web store. This is the Chrome web store. So here, as you can see, we have a totally different section for theme and extensions. Once we are in extensions, we can see so many of them. Like these are the extensions, and what they basically do is actually extend the way you can utilize the various capabilities of your browser. Now, if we go by definition, extensions are actually small software programs that customize the browsing experience and let users tailor Chrome functionalities and behaviors in many ways. Now, this is just a formal definition. I mean, like for layman terms, extensions are small programs that actually help you customize your browsing experiences according to your will. Like you can use them for creating productivity tools, you can use them to create mini games, or even information aggregation and personalization tools. And moreover, if I am to tell you what extensions I personally use, then as you can see, I actually generally use setup VPN. It's an awesome extension for setting up VPN. Then JSON formatter and dark reader. Let's just visit one of them. Like let's visit the dark reader one. I actually personally like this extension because I'm actually a fan of dark mode. So uh, I like every other developer, I actually enjoy using things in the dark mode. So I will be getting the extension. Now this is the helpdex, and once we are in, I will just pin it here. Now notice this thing, like I just installed the extension, but it is not yet active. I have to actually go there and then turn it on or off. And once it is done, this should actually work. Yeah, now we are in dark mode. So extensions are just that, like they are just small programs that help you extend the functionalities of Chrome or your browser. And now what are they actually built on? Like what type of tech do you use in building Chrome extensions? Chrome extensions are actually built on basic HTML, CSS, and JS. Like you can add on to those, but when you are getting started, these three tech, knowing these three is more than enough for building basic extensions. They actually run in sandboxed execution environments. Like they don't really affect the execution environment of the rest of the browsing pages, the pages that you are currently browsing in your browser. So like they actually execute in a separate sandboxed execution environment. And then what are the basic like components of an extension? Now an extension can actually have a lot of components, but basically we have a few of them. Like every extension must have manifest.json. Like it is what defines an extension. We will be creating these file systems and all, but for now we will just explore their names. Like then there is something like background scripts that actually monitor the events that are running and are required by other scripts. And then the background scripts are actually the ones which are executed when the extension is installed or loaded. Then we have the content scripts that are actually running in context of the web pages. And actually the most interesting part is that you can actually use these extensions to manipulate the DOM, like the document object model of the web page. Like whenever I'm visiting any site, this extension, this dark reader extension, is actually manipulating the color of the background. So it's actually really powerful, and the things that you can do with this is absolutely amazing. Now then we also have an options page. Like if we go here only, we will have something like this. Yeah, the options page here is actually disabled. So actually we have that option of getting an options page. And then there are UI elements. UI elements include the icons like this icon and all. And then we can have actually and other various logic files. Like just to give you an intro of what we can actually do with Chrome extensions, I will actually show you one of my extensions. This extension is actually called NTEXT. I named it so because N stands for new and T for tab and EXT for extension. Like then, as you can see, when I am opening a new tab in Brave, it is showing some random background image, right? Like I want to actually customize this thing. How can I do it? So I built up an extension that can do it for me. Now I'm just getting it in. I'm just getting it installed, and once I pin it, I can actually visit it, like use it. So as the description says, a simple open source Chrome extension to customize new tab backgrounds. Like it doesn't do much. You can actually visit the GitHub link to see the source code, and once we visit the settings page, now we can actually choose a file, like any image that you want. I will be actually going in downloads, then wallpaper. Let's get this one. This is just a random wallpaper, so doesn't really matter. Then we can actually add a clock or something, but I won't be adding a clock. Let's just see what happens. Uh, Before that, I will show you here, right? Just a minute. And now once I press submit, it's not actually working. Wait a minute. I think I messed up somewhere. Okay, let me just show it here. I have that extension installed here to I must have messed up with something. Like I'm not really ready to devote any much more time to debug that thing. But let's just use this here, use the extension here. Once I get in downloads, then wallpaper, and I can get the JPG, add a clock, and submit. See, so it's working. Like this is actually how just an example of what amazing things you can do. Like this is also Brave, so it actually gave me uncustomizable wallpapers that I can now customize because I have built an extension that can help me do that. We can change the positions or even select the color of the neon clock. So like that, we can actually do a lot of things with extensions. Now without further ado, I guess we should get started with coding. Okay, so now we will actually build us let me just check out the comment boxes for a minute. Okay. Hi Bia, I am with Bia. Hi Rupin. Hi Ayush. Hi Sambuddha. Oh, it's actually awesome to see you guys here. Like if you guys have any kind of question or something, you can just put it down here. I will actually be answering them in between the session. Okay, let's just move on. Hi everyone. Let's just build one such extension. Like well, what does a developer do whenever he is starting out with something new? Like it's a ritual. What do? We build an hello world program. So let's just build a simple extension that just shows hello world on the on clicking the extension part. Let me open my VS Code, and here we are. So as I said, the first thing that you need to build an extension is the manifest file. So we will get the manifest.json file. It is actually a JSON file, so we will actually be writing it in form of key value pairs. Like first of all, there are a few things that you need in order to create the most basic extension. Like we need a name for the extension. What are we going to call it? Let's just call it hello world pop-up. Okay, so next we would need a description. Now, as per the FAQs, if you visit the official documentation and FAQ section, you will realize that that Chrome has given guidelines that the extensions should actually fulfill a single purpose. That is why you should not build actually something that is doing everything. Like you should the extension should be simpler. Now, this extension in particular is actually simply printing hello world. That's it. That's all what we are going to do with this extension. Now, once we give it a version, this is an interesting part actually. There are actually two versions. Let me just finish it up. Once we write the version part, then we have to write manifest version. Manifest version. Now, manifest version actually there is a manifest version 2 and manifest version 3. 3 is the more recent one, and we all are actually shifting to manifest version 3. So actually, we will be using manifest version 3. Now, interestingly, this is all you need to get started with an extension. Now, this is a working extension that does absolutely nothing. Let me just show you. Once we are here, let's go to, yeah, see, it's working now. I said now there was something wrong. I don't know, like something went wrong. Anyways, now once we visit here, and I'm going to actually go to Chrome colon / extensions. Now you can see that this page actually it changes to Brave because I am in Brave browser. Actually, extensions work in any Chrome extensions in particular work in any Chromium based browsers. Like there are different kind of browsers. Now there is Firefox. You won't be able to actually run Chrome based extensions in Firefox. You will need Firefox add-ons for that. That is something else. Now the Chrome based extensions and Firefox add-ons are not totally different things. Just a few tweakings can change a Chrome extension into a Firefox add-on. Now, more than that, actually, what we are focusing here is that this page, Brave colon / extension, or if you visit Chrome colon / extensions, you will actually see what all the extensions you are using right now. Well, this is all okay, but the most interesting part is here, the developer mode. Once we are in, we have superpowers. What are the superpowers? Well, we have load unpacked, pack extension, and update buttons. Load unpacked is the button that we are more interested in right now. What does it do? Like we have our extension here, right? Desktop / session / hello world. This is the directory where our extension is being built by us. But how does Chrome know? So here is where we let it know that this is the place where you should be looking for a new extension that we are currently developing. Once I select it, select folder, and ta-da, we have the hello world pop-up. See, look at the version 0.0.1, exactly the one that we put in here. In fact, if I just change it to 0.0.5 and then go and reload, it changes to 0.0.5. So these things are actually necessary to get your extension working. Now we have a working extension that does absolutely nothing. Now we don't want that, right? We want if even if I visit here, see, hello world pop-up. We have our new extension. I will just unpin this one. Now we have hello world pop-up with a new extension. This is the icon. We can actually change the icons. We'll be discussing about it later. Sorry. So, and here is the description part. Simply printing hello world. See, simply printing hello world. So this 4 lines of code is all you need to get started building an extension. But to get it a bit more of functionalities, we have to add a few more lines. Like there is something called pop-up thing. Let me just get it first. Then we get default underscore pop-up. Now I want it to look for popup.html. I missed a comma. Okay, I just messed up here. Yep, done. So when you are actually clicking on something like this new tab extension, you see this thing. This thing is what is called an pop-up. But if we are clicking here, we get nothing. We get this options page. But why? Because we have not yet defined a pop-up for the extension. Now here I have written that for there's something now what are the actually the fields for a manifest file. We can get it from the documentation. Chrome extensions documentation. Just visit the Chrome extensions. Yep, developer.chrome.com. Now once we are here, I want to visit with getting started. Now this is the manifest file. You can actually have a lot of other fields, but action is one of them. And to define the default things like the default icon or default pop-up, we actually use action in manifest version 2. It was called browser action. Now there are two different things like browser action and page action. Page action is actually a bit more complicated thing, but from manifest version 3, the Chrome developers have actually removed browser action. So now we have action defined for both browser action and page action. Once we are defining the action, then we have to define default pop-up to get the popup.html. Okay, so now we have the popup.html. Let's just build something up like popup.html. See, in manifest file, we have said that the default pop-up should be popup.html. But until now, there was no popup.html. So it was showing us nothing when we are clicking on it. But since we have it now, we will just get a simple HTML code. Hello world. And then in body, we will say h1, hi, I am popup. Let's just see if this works or not. Here we are. So let's just refresh it. Now this is interesting. Whenever you are building an extension, you have to come here and again refresh. Like it does get refreshed on its own after a while, but just to be sure, you should actually refresh it. Once we are here, see, hi, I am pop-up. Until now, whenever I was clicking over it, it was showing nothing, but now it shows hi, I am pop-up. This is where I wanted to show hello world. If I click it over here, as I said, it does refresh on its own, but just to be sure, you should manually refresh it every time. So here it shows hello world. What if we just messed up? Like, let us see. I just messed an e here. Now NAM is nothing. Like, it is not defined in terms of manifest file. So whenever I reload it, see, error, required field name is missing or invalid. If there is something wrong with the manifest file, you will not be able to load it. Like, you won't be able to load it here. So could not load manifest. Whenever no matter how many times I retry, this is going to happen. Let's just fix this part. And what if we do something wrong here? Like, let's just add a script file which has main.js. Create a new file main.js and do something random here, like excuse me. So here I am defining a script file, a js file main.js, but inside it I am doing just random things that has no meaning, like const anything equal to minus minus. Absolutely, this is actually wrong, right? Once I reload, okay, I should actually do something really wrong. Hmm. To like const is equal to 2 a into a. That should actually work. Okay, so it is. Huh. So actually, this is actually the point is, whenever you do something wrong, you will have an errors part here. Like, a new button will show up with errors written on it, where you can click and get the new get the errors. Now what if we want to inspect the pop-up the console? Like, we can go here in inspect, and here we have the console of the popup.js, like the popup.html. Okay, so with this we have actually actually, let's just delete this file, and now we have an working extension. Like, this extension does something and is actually valid. It what does it do? It just prints hello world when we go on and click over it. That's it. That's all what it does. Now this is not this is all it takes to just get started with extensions, but this is not what we want, right? Like, we want to explore a bit more about it. So let's just build another extension. Now we loaded the extension from here, load unpacked. Now let's just build like another extension and call it, just a minute, new folder. Let's just call it checking all. So here we will be actually checking the various fields that we can use in manifest file. So I will actually open it with VS Code, and here we are. Now, as I said, the first thing that you need to get your extension started is the manifest file, manifest.json. Once we are in, we need to have the basic fields. What are the basic fields? Name, I'm just naming it anything randomly, like checking out stuff. Then we have a description. Now in description we will be describing it like just checking out stuff here about extensions. Once we are done with that, we'll be moving on with manifest version. Manifest version. Like I said, manifest version can be 2 or can be 3, but 3 is the most recent one, so we will be using 3. Then we have version. Version actually refers to the version of the Chrome extension. Like we will be updating the Chrome extensions after a while, so we will be just changing the versions and then pushing the updates. Now in version, I will be starting with 0.0.1. You can use actually any other way of versioning your extension. It is not actually defined that you should use 0.0.1 type of system. You can also use 0.1. Then actually we will be having an pop-up, like as I showed right now, just now. We have the default pop-up. Here we have popup.html. Right. Next, let's just do this much and try out our extension. For that, we will actually need a popup.html file, because in manifest file we are saying that the default popup should be popup.html. So we should actually define the popup.html, get it done with tab. Now just get a title, like anything would work, checking stuff. Then again tab and h1. This is the popup. Guess what? This is or guess what this extension is going to do. Let's just load it. Checking all and select folder. Here we have it. Checking out stuff. Version 0.0.1. Description, just checking out stuff here about extensions. Once we get here, we have it here. Let's just click it. This is the pop-up. So up till now, we have actually discussed what is a pop-up, how to actually create a pop-up HTML, and then link it with your extension. Next up, we will actually be getting something called background.js file. Like it is also called background script. Like any other thing in your extension, we actually have to register our background our background script into the manifest file. So here we define background, which takes in an object with a variable with a key value pair of service worker, then background.js, comma. So here we are saying that manifest file, there is a background script which works as a service worker named background.js. We will have to actually create a file, background.js. Inside background.js, let's just do console log. We'll be doing background.js file is working. Okay. Next up, let's just visit our extension right now and see what all has actually happened. Let's reload it. Okay. I misspelled service worker. Service worker. That is why it was not behaving the way I expected it to behave. Let's just reload. And we have inspect views service worker. This is something that has been added up. What is a background script? Background scripts are the scripts that are actually working in the background all the time to listen for events. Now there might be times when whenever an event is actually captured, it gets into context, executes the required content scripts, and then gets out of the context once it is done. Now background script is also the script that is actually run for the first time whenever, like you see in active world, like whenever the extension is actually installed for the first time, the first thing that gets executed is the background script. Also whenever you are manually reloading it. Now once it is idle, it goes inactive. Now if we have to actually inspect the console for the background js file, we have to click here. Here we can see background js file is working, but if I go on here and then try to inspect console, what do we get? Nothing. So whenever there is something that you are console logging in the background.js file, you have to actually visit this part to get an idea of what is being consoled out. Okay, now that we have our background script, we can have some other things too, like like we can do much more things with this much only. Let's just create something like a foreground.js. Foreground.js. We'll be using foreground.js to actually manipulate the DOM of visited sites. Let me just code it out, then we can explain it much better way. Once we are in, and I go to the background.js file, here I am. Let's just then we will be using chrome.tabs.on activated dot add listener. It will get tab, then execute a function which actually has chrome.tab.get tab.id, then current tab info dot url. Okay, and then we want it to run a function. Current tab info, it should actually execute a function which runs like, we need if the visited tab is something like https, then www dot google dot something, like here we are doing that, here we are actually doing like chrome, whenever we are actually in the background .js file, we are actually trying to get the active tabs. Like whenever a new tab is activated, we are actually adding a event listener on it, and that event listener is doing all it is doing is actually getting the tab, then running chrome.tab.get id. It's getting the id of the tab, and then the current tab info, from the current tab info it is getting the url, the value of the url. And if that url matches with this type of value, then we are actually testing it. If it is matching this value, current tab info dot url. So whenever it is matching this value, we are executing the following code: chrome.tabs dot execute script. Inside it, we have null, then file dot foreground dot js, and then we are console logging that the foreground.js file was injected. Let me use Control Z here. Should have looked here. Like, start it out and strict. Okay. So actually, here we are trying to inject that foreground.js file. Spelling is wrong, I guess. Yeah. Actually, here we are trying to get the foreground.js file to be injected inside that inside the Chrome inside the tabs whenever the tab URL matches with this sequence. So we have tab.get tab ID current tab info. Okay. Yep. I just messed up that part. Then we are executing it here. I wanted to find the foreground.js inside this folder, and then I wanted to execute this console log. Okay, this should actually there are some wrong parts. I don't know why. Like, I have to actually see what's wrong. Execute script. We want to execute the script inside null. Then we want the file to be foreground.js. We want it to execute here. Yeah. Shit. I just messed up with this brackets. So what are we actually doing here? We are actually getting the info on what are the whenever a new tab is being activated in Chrome, we are adding a event listener for that event, and then we are getting the tab. Then we are getting the tab ID and the tab info. We are actually passing the tab info into this function where we are checking if the tab info's URL is matching with this pattern http google dot www dot google dot something. Whenever it is matching, then we are executing the foreground script chrome dot tabs dot execute script. It is actually executing the foreground script, and then console logging foreground js was injected inside foreground js. Let's just console log foreground js is working. Awesome. So presently, what we have is a manifest file that defines the name, description, manifest version, and the popup.html file and the background.js file. Inside the popup.html, we are doing nothing, just printing this is the popup, and then in background.js file, we are actually console logging that this is the background.js file is working. Then we are injecting a foreground dot a JS file, to be general. Like we are generally actually injecting a JS file into any tab whenever the tab's URL matches with this pattern. Let's just see if it is working or not. Awesome. Now if I go to service worker, we can see the console log. It is saying error in event handler type, error cannot find properties of undefined reading get. Okay. Okay, console log. Yep. Chrome.tab.get. Let's just Google something. This is not what I'm looking for. So here we can use we have, let's just see what went wrong here. Yeah, let's see, this is the part I was talking about. Whenever you have extensions, let's just Chrome colon extensions. Here we have errors, but it's not showing up. Okay, so actually I just messed up something here. Well, I don't really get it why it's not working out here, but let's move on to next part. For now we will be discussing it later. Like other than that, like these are the things that we can actually do with manifest file. Like we can have a service worker which runs a background JS and then injects file whenever it actually encounters an event. Now let's just build something else. Like we have this, and then let's just build something like we as I showed right now, that whenever we are using a new tab, we can actually capture it and then create inject our new images into it. Like let's just build that part next. Sorry, new. Let me open it with VS Code. Here we are. So first of all, we will need a manifest file. Inside this, we need name. Like I can actually show you the code itself rather than building it up right now. It would actually take a lot of time. So let's just visit the repo. For some reason, the internet connection is also low. And here we have the code. Actually, I will now just explain how we can actually get that this extension working, the new tab extension. Now, if we see the manifest file, we have manifest version 2. Like this file was built over manifest version 2. Then we have the name of the extension ntxt and the description, the version, icons. Like when we are defining icons, we should define we should actually get them into the register them into the manifest file with the tab with the key icons, and then the icon actually has the values to the icons with the sizes. Like this 128 refers to icon size of 128 by 128. Then we have the browser action default. Inside browser action we have default icons. Like there are if you see here, there are two icons. One icon is showing up here, and the other icon is when we visit the Chrome colon extensions. Let's see, there are two icons. So one of them defines this one, this icon defines this one, and this icon defines that one. Then we have default title. Whenever has a default title of ntxt, as you can see, and the popup.html. Whenever I click on it, this popup shows up. Then we have the Chrome URL overrides part, where I'm defining that whenever a new tab is being clicked on, like a new tab is being created, you have to override that default Chrome functionality, and instead of giving what Chrome provides by default, we have to actually give new tab.html. Now we have new tab.html defined up here. Inside new tab.html, we have defined the code for new tab.html. In this way, we are actually creating we are actually having that popup.html, where we have setting that links to settings.html, where we have a file chooser, then a value for adding clock and all. So this is all about how extensions actually work, and how what all you can actually do with this thing. Now moving on to publishing part, like we have built an extension that does a simple that simply prints hello world. So moving on to how can we actually publish it. It can be published by visiting the Chrome web store itself. Like let's just visit the web store. Once you are inside the web store, you can actually sign in here, like anything. Just visit the my web store there only. So once we are actually logged into our account in web store, we can actually register as a group Chrome web store developer. While you are registering, you have to pay a one time fee of $5. Once you have paid that fee, you will be visited with a dashboard like this, where you can actually add new item. Once you click on this new item part, you will actually have to upload your whole file, like the whole hello world file. I have to actually zip it. Once it is zipped, sorry, I have to actually zip the individual files. Like I have to click on them and then compress to zip. Once it is zipped, now I can upload it. I can upload it in inside this box, and once it is in, we can then list it on the web store. And while we are listing it up, we have to actually add on some. We have to actually submit a draft, and then that draft is uh, actually permitted by the Google developers, who actually check for you if you are violating the guidelines of Chrome extensions or not, and then they upload it up. And once it is done, we can actually visit your you can actually visit your extensions on web store. So that's all from my side for today. If you guys have any questions, you can just post them in. I will be checking up the chats. Yes, Boba, and actually we have that. In fact, if you talk to any Android developer, like the Play Store that we have, we actually can go up there and get apps. But the developers, you have to actually pay a upfront one-time fee while you are registering for getting your apps onto the Play Store. In that same manner, we do need to get registered into developer as a Chrome developer to get our extensions up. Any more questions? Yes, thank you, Ekadarsi. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. Yes, Kardi. Yeah, something like that. Okay, then I will be stopping my screen sharing. So, any more doubts?
So hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the session. You had amazing session. Bikram, the way you explained was too simple and really great. Okay, so that's it for today. If you have any questions, you might ask in our Telegram group. I will try to answer there, and Bikram will be also trying to answer your questions if you ask. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the session. Stay safe and bye.
Yep. Bye.